Loud and clear. All right.
Okay.
So, Vijay, all set? You can unmute Vijay.
Yeah, I'm going live stream, sir.
Hold on, hold
It's
on.
live now.
Give me a signal before you go.
It's on, sir.
All right. Oh my God! So this is season 2. This is something which is crazy, which is happening on this Summit Sync, and we are live. I think, friends, if you are live, just send me a hi in the comment section if you are getting this. And lovely, lovely, lovely. Give a big round of applause to yourself from being here. Let me blast the biggest bomb of this era. And I have got something just coming up. These are certain research topics that has been popping up in the last around 18 to 20 days because we have been constantly doing a lot of research for this upcoming CEO summit, which is happening in Bangalore. We're going to talk about that in some time. But here is the tip. I'll say the biggest talker for this particular session. In the next 18 months, 40% of the leaders watching this will be replaced, not by AI, not by AI. So this is the entire thing. Okay, the top level people are not going to be replaced just by AI. But here is the thing. But by a junior who knows how to use it to your 10 hours job in 10 minutes. Today, we are talking about how to become the person who signs that junior paycheck and not the person who gets replaced by them. So how many of you guys are tuned up? Because today we're going to be asking a lot of things. We'll be taking those pointers. Some of the pointers I'm just going to give it to you. By the way, if you have missed out the last session was amazing. There is a recording. You can actually get it free. So comment in the section, just type in sync, SYNC, and we will send you the link where you can not only just get that recording of the previous session, but we have summarized all these things in a nice PDF format, and that all these things are very, what should I say, put in a kind of a point-wise structure, one by one, and you can use it, take a printout, and you can use it for your stuff. Anyways, so the topics that we're going to talk about today are going to be on a different note. This is going to be much more deeper, advanced, and I've got a lot of stuff that has been asked to us. So we have compiled a lot of FAQs, and this is a session which is going to be for the next 20-25 minutes, and I want you to be live with us. So some of the questions that we're going to be talking about is regarding certain things which is called as conflict. So you have spent like 15 years building an expertise, but promotions committee doesn't care about your past. They only care about your future potential. This is one of the biggest things that we are going to talk today. And we are going to bring in something called as the authority drop systems and mechanism. And you know what? Why not I bring in the person, the magician, the person with the magic wand who has made so many people to reach to that CXO level. So without any further delay, let's, with a big round of welcome applause, can you just type it in the comment section? Let's bring in Dr. Budit Saxena. Doctor, where are you? Let's bring in here.
Hey,
All right. So,
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Thanks for calling me here once again, and it's such a pleasure to be here.
lovely, lovely, lovely. So Coach, today is the second day, and we have done the first part of our session, a couple of days back, and we have got a lot of questions coming in. So what we, as a team, what we've done is we have compiled all these things into a couple of questions, and we're going to be going full throttle today. But today's session is absolutely different because today we are talking about something which is, I'll just put this word. It's a beautiful word. It's called as the invisible leader versus the visible architect. Okay, I repeat, the invisible leader versus the visible architect. And this has been something like, they say this is a kind of a well-kept secret for so many years that only the top level people discuss and all these things. So today we're going to break that myth and how this particular event is going to be, I say, a stepping stone for those people who are getting in. I would like you to just start with this first pointer is it really something that we should be worried about the AI, or is it something that what I just mentioned about this topic that has just popped up, that in the next 18 months, 40% of the leaders watching this will be replaced not by AI, but by juniors who knows how to use the structure to do the stuff which was taking 10 hours in 10 minutes. Over to you.
Absolutely. As Alvin Toffler once said, right? The educated in the 21st century is somebody who can learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay. What that means is in every era, there's going to be a lot of technologies coming in, etc. So what will happen with AI is that, yes, a lot of the repetitive jobs, the low level where you just had analysts sitting and crunching things or doing those kind of jobs will very clearly get replaced by AI. And then you have other people who know how to use AI and those who are sitting and watching on the sidelines, right? So the threat to human beings is more by other humans who know how to use AI, who can produce, do all that 10 hours work in, 20 minutes. So the essence, what, my request to every single leader is in whichever field you're in, try and see how AI is impacting your area. And you must come up to speed because that's the only way you're going to protect yourself.
Roughly. I mean, what I would like to know is, I'm talking about, let's say, around a decade back, where your past efforts were actually been taken care in an KRA system. But today, the promotions, the appraisals, the positioning is all dependent on something called as the future potential. And how does one get to know that? Is it just the entry point that I have to do a lot of hard work? But when you see the matrices, things are completely changed. And this is where we are going to have this entire meeting, or I'll say the biggest conferences where bringing all these global experts and leaders. I would like you to just give me some kind of a snapshot, and I'm letting you know that I don't want you to spill all the bends, but let us know like what would be those points that we can discuss or that we are planning to discuss that would actually help these people to go to the next potential level.
So you brought out a very interesting point, Amit. Okay, talking about future potential. Many people at the managerial level think that they're going to get promoted because they worked hard. Now that's okay in the first 10 years, where you establish that you're disciplined, you can do a job, you can maybe lead a few people. All that is fine. But the moment you come onto the mid career, right, where you've already become a manager and now you want to get to becoming a senior manager, AVP, director, VP, senior VP, right? So as you go up, then it's no longer about how hard you can work because everybody can work hard. Okay? Who in India doesn't work hard? I mean, few people. You know what I'm saying? So what differentiates people is not for what you're capable and doing today currently. It's about your ability to signal that you're ready to take on the next level jobs. And those people become promotable. So if you're only doing jobs, you're doing things which are, you're maintaining the ship, you may have a job, but you're not the person who's going to, the kind of person who gets promoted is somebody who's willing to learn, willing to take risks, create some visible shift in the organization, pretend and he already is behaving and thinking like a leader. So that's what you get promoted on the basis of future potential and not. And as you keep getting higher, the delta keeps getting higher and higher because imagine if everybody's certified at data and cloud and Azure, right? What's so different about you? Not the technical knowledge anymore.
I'll just take a pause here, and coach, I would like you to direct on this other thing because you are giving a very powerful nugget here. One of the nuggets is it is not the tech, it is not how much you know. Okay, but there is something beyond. I'm talking about the visible architecture and what is exactly going to happen in this 2 days of our event, if you can let us know.
Absolutely. So we're going to have, global leaders coming in, right? We're having Indian CEOs. We're having GCC site leaders. We're having CHROs. So what every participant in the conference is going to get is a 360-degree view. How people are evaluated globally, how people are evaluated in India, how people are evaluated by senior leaders from GCCs, how people are evaluated by HR. So, HR is really the support end of it, right? Business leader, support, and a 360-degree view. So people will realize and learn from people because everybody who's coming there is somebody who has established himself. So the kind of perspectives they bring in will be life-changing to a lot of people because they've never seen it, right? Yeah.
Okay. I'll just take this entire thing to the next string because we had been speaking a lot about the secret sauce. There is something which is happening called as the resume magic and promotional, we call it as in our colloquial language is about how many people you know. Your network is your net worth and all those fancy things. Okay. What is it that this can be one key element for a person who has been eyeing the CEO cabin for a long time, but he's not able to break open the glass and get inside?
Well, let me tell you very clearly. The main thing that what you can do in a physical event, live event, and what you cannot do in any Zoom call meeting is the eye contact, the shaking of hands, the body language, the meeting and reaching out to people. Because a lot of a lot of us build networks by connecting with people, okay, not with robots, right? So whatever, Zoom is great. Any electronic virtual device is great. Like, you and I are talking from two separate places. I'm in Dubai, you're here, and we're communicating, and you can communicate all over the world. But the nothing can beat a physical meeting. Okay, so what I'm telling everybody is you might just meet a future boss, a future company CEO, a future CHRO of your company, and more than anything else, you might meet a lot of colleagues who are at your level and higher. And jobs come in at senior levels. They come in through networks. They come in through recommendations. They come in through people who already know you. So this is something that you just cannot do in a virtual setup. And
Okay.
this is what you can do at the conference. So don't miss it.
Okay. Coach is going a little bit away from this topic. Might be around a couple of months back, there was a very viral video where there was a small kid, standing on one of the pointed boat. I think it was kind of a boat racing in Southeast Asia, and his movements was actually been recognized, and many people tried doing that same thing. It is called as aura farming. And aura forming is something like, you come inside the session and people look at you, you get a different kind of things. And today I would like to know about those people who are the top level movers and shakers of this world. They carry a different kind of an aura. Is that something that we can copy? Is it something that is inborn? Is it genetics, or is it something that can be learnable? Your take.
Yeah. So, the way I look at it, Dr. Amit, is always that it's the inside game that reflects your outer game. Okay. People who are very driven, people who are very conscious about where they want to go, people who have purpose, people who are, here to do things, they think differently. And I think the kind of vibrations that you give at that stage itself, is very different from somebody who is lost, who doesn't, who's not motivated, who's not. So when you see leaders who come in, they're there because they are, they're already driven. They're mission driven. They have a, very clear goal where they want to get, and therefore you see the energy of these people is very, very different.
Correct.
Somebody, and it's very different in a, work situation as well as, let's say, you meet somebody casually. Okay. And those are two different situations. And you might feel somebody at work is very different from somebody in a social situation, right? Because the aura and the environment and ambience is very different. So I think it's, anybody can build it, because when they get goal focus, when they get purpose focus, when they get value focus, when they know that they want to make a difference, the
Lovely.
energy, the vibe will change from within. And that's what reflects outside.
So you mean to say that there is a way to copy paste it in our lives, and we can get that aura farming as well?
See, I wouldn't use the word copy paste. I would say you first discover your own self. What is it
Mhm.
that motivates you? What is your purpose in life? What do you want to achieve? Because when you have a North Star, which is larger than yourself, then, even an ordinary man, and to me, leadership is about making ordinary people do extraordinary things, right?
Lovely. Yeah.
When you are mission focused, when you are driven, you know that there's, everybody 24 hours, but you want to make sure that you maximize your time and make sure you can, do exactly everything and move the needle so you can get closer to your goals. Okay.
Lovely.
Everybody can do that. But the question is of awakening.
So I'll just take you, through the same question, because today's entire session is all about how are we doing. Sorry. So how are we getting into this role of authorities making systems using certain frameworks, certain tools, and how is this particular live event is going to be game changer, which we usually don't speak on any of these forums. We don't speak it on podcasts. We don't speak it on any of the publication articles. And these are something which is like the well kept, I'll not say the word secret, but preserved as something that is passed on a CEO hierarchy.
Yeah. See, I think the first thing people need to learn is to just observe how do global leaders operate, right? How do they answer questions? How do they interact with others, right? The kind of vibe that you get, this isn't something that any textbook can teach you. You can't
Mhm.
watch a YouTube video or, because I keep telling you, knowledge is available. What's not available is actually looking, learning, and from the best. And we're going to have, 700 years of leadership there. 35 speakers, each, everybody with more than 20 years of experience, right? So it's easily more than 700. Just watching them over 2 days, the way they answer questions, the way they ask questions, the way they interact with each other is going to be game changing. And nobody can teach you this, right? You've got to be very, very aware and learn from them. How do they conduct themselves? Because they are the leaders and they've already proven themselves. So I think this is something that's completely not replaceable.
I'll just take a second. People who are watching this live, and if this is like hitting you hard and you're feeling it on the chest, okay, yeah, this is something that I'm looking and missing it. Just type in sync in the comment or just type in signal, because this is that one signal. It's going to be changing everything when you come in here. By the way, this is not it. We are looking into how we can make it so simple, so implementable and workable for you from wherever you are. So we had been talking about the top level CEOs and CXOs. Now let us talk about those people who are looking at might be a job change, might be looking at a promotional part, might be looking at absolutely taking some new roles and responsibilities, new people, new age. Now this is a question that is going to be the thing. Like, is it important that I should be knowing all the technology? Is it important that I should know in and out of everything to go to the hierarchy? Now, this is a question that many of the people have been asking, like, is it the certification that we have? Is it the exposure that we have? Is it what? So there was a word that we just spoke about. It's called as your perspective towards your future potential. Okay, I think there are three pieces: perspective to future potential. And today we are going to talk more about it. And today we are also going to talk a little bit behind the scene of how this 2 days is going to transform a person. So, Coach, one happy question from one of our, I think, our previous participant who has been there and watching this is one question: can I also get something where I am, I can accelerate this, because it's all about acceleration. So over to you, Coach, if you can let us know on how a person who is actually looking for a job change or looking for an appraisal or a higher stake or taking more responsibilities, what are the things that he can take from this 2 day session that we have live in Bangalore?
I think it's a great question. And, I would encourage them to come because the entire theme of the conference is career and leadership growth in the age of AI and layoffs. Okay. So every theme is going to be touching the uncertain environment. How should they be, if they're laid off, how should they get back? If they're still working, how do you prevent layoffs? As well as look for new roles. And because the entire order is changing, the skill sets are completely what is required in the last decade is going to be very different from the skill sets required in the next decade. Okay, so let me answer this in three parts. First, for somebody who's looking at a new job, okay, you can get a new job through a network. You can get a new job by meeting a senior leader because he may be looking for somebody. And three, you can learn about what is expected in the new job from all the leaders. So that's one part. Somebody who's looking for career acceleration, right? So Shrupatik Ghosh, who's coming in from Washington, one of his topics is exactly this. What is required for career growth and acceleration in the next decade or till even 2030, right? So he's going to be talking, and he himself is a techie. And when I was talking to him, he was saying, Mudit, yes, it's important if you're a technology person to know your work, but there are a lot of other skills there which are not about technology anymore. Because, like I said, in a middle level to do your job, it's very important to be certified, right? So that you can manage. But think about it. If today there's a CTO, right? There's no way he can know as much about AI as somebody who's just come out of doing an AI program out of IIT Bombay. I'm just giving you an example. But the CTO has perspective. He understands business. He understands how technology can be used to further business, right? So both perspectives. It's not that you don't have to be the best executor of everything. You should be able to learn how you can harness technology to impact your business.
Lovely. Coach, I'll take a small around 30-second commercial break just to let you know, or maybe I think we can do it together. So we have this event coming up on on a particular kind of a date. There is a very significant part for the date. There is a very significant part of people who have chosen to be on that particular spot, the venue, everything. Open to you. If you can just let us know what is it all about and how one can actually grab the last few tickets that we have.
Yes, absolutely. I will encourage everybody, please, if you find this interesting, please go and book your tickets because very few are left. The physical event is going to be on February 21st and 22nd, which is a Saturday and Sunday in February. And this is going to be at the Hotel Chancery Pavilion in Bangalore. But before these two live dates, we have 5 days between the 15th and the 19th, where we're going to be doing online sessions too. These online sessions are about learning, these online sessions are about getting greater awareness, and these online sessions are all about making you reflect so that when you come to the summit, you are ready to receive, the high voltage. That when a CEO walks in, right, when a global leader walks in, they walk in with aura, they walk in with authority, they walk in with knowledge, which sometimes, if you're not ready to receive, right, can be lost. And that's what I want to prepare them for in these 5 days. So it's a
Lovely.
7-day program, 5 days online, 2 days live. And it's really, I would say it's India's premier event because I don't think there's a global summit in India yet which talks about career and leadership. There are many conferences about technology and everything in a city like Bangalore. It's full with that. But you know what? You can have as much technology, but there is no school in the world which teaches you how to navigate your career. Want to
Good.
learn? Come to the conference.
Good. So with that, I would like to push another question. Like, this is for the people who are watching this live. If you are finding this is like crazy and this is something that you have to be, there is a link in the comment section, or you can write in the comment section as sync SYNC, and we will send you a link. You can go through the details, and if you need any help in terms of any kind of questions, might be booking a hotel, getting in here, directions, or the tickets, or any other things, or might be a corporate booking, or you want to help us out, or you want to do a JV with us, or you want to do anything, just type in sync and we will call you back. Yes, we will call you back. We'll connect back to you because this is a very chosen, I'll say, program where like we are looking at only those people who are willing to become the next level of movers and shakers, right? Now, here's the thing. Before we go ahead, I would like to ask Coach one more thing is, I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually seen or, you have met those people who are getting reported by 5,000 to 6,000 to 7,000 plus people. Okay, what would it take for someone to attend such kind of a play? I mean, I'll call it as a play because someone is trying to interview you of that amazing power and authority. Is it something possible? Is it something that can be done? Over to you, Coach.
So, all the leaders were going to be there, right? And like I said, global leaders, Indian leaders, CCC leaders, HR leaders, all of them are going to be at the conference. But for a very select few people who want to have lunch with these leaders, we have a special arrangement where you can actually sit on the same table and, the ability to converse with leaders at that level, at that proximity is something that's not available. Most people will never be able to sit next to a CEO or a global CXO, okay, or a CHRO, except if he's from your own company and you are part of a special club. It's the same thing. We have very, very few spots left for people who truly want to connect with these leaders. And if they're interested, maybe they can get in touch.
Lovely. And that brings me to probably, I think, the couple of last questions. Okay. One of the questions that has came to me is, look, I'm an introvert. Actually, this is how I have been through far. Is it something that I have to do something to bring in a change of absolute character to become a kind of a global CXO role? And when you are in that dining, in that dining table, when we have got people here, if you are not talking about those pointers, I think things becomes a little different. Coach, what is your take on those people who call themselves as introverts?
Yeah, I think, it's a bit of a misconception because, see, firstly, understand what introversion and extroversion is. Introverts get energy from their own thoughts and their own ideas, whereas extroverts get energy from other people and surroundings. Okay. So it's not about how many people you know. Okay. All introverts, and let me tell you, all the big leaders today are all introverts. Because if you don't have that ability to think and and be happy with yourself and go deep down, you cannot do deep work. Okay. So Sundar Pichai is an introvert. Satya Nadella, a lot of him is an introvert, right? Mark Zuckerberg, a lot of these leaders, Steve Jobs, all of them were introverts. So does it mean that they cannot lead? Absolutely not. Especially in technology companies and in a technology age, you need to have some metal and some depth. And that comes, and I'll tell you why being an introvert is also an advantage. The introverts aren't the ones who are going to keep yakking, yakking, yakking. So they actually are able to observe the room. And very often you will see globally, when you're in a boardroom, the person who's the quietest is the one who takes all the decisions. Because they always see, it's even Dalai Lama said, right? If you keep talking, you will only repeat what you know. But if you keep quiet, might actually learn something new.
I love my job of asking questions to you. So on that point, I have another thing, okay, that's connected to the previous question. It's called as boardroom gravitas. Okay, now that is something which has been a nice keyword that has been floating around for quite some time. And what would take for a person to get into such kind of a room full of I'll say all the leaders, all the top level decision makers? What is it that the person who has never been to such kind of a portfolio or never been to such kind of a boardroom, how is it that this particular event is going to help them to be somebody present and show his aura there?
Yes. See, so the first thing I say is observe. When you're in that room, most people would be mid career leaders or senior leaders. You are getting a chance to observe global leaders. You're getting a chance to observe CEOs in action. You're getting a chance to observe CHROs in action. All these people will be interacting with each other as well as this. Just watching them, how they walk onto the stage, how they sit, how they answer questions. Do they just rush out or do they reflect? These are traits which anyone, will need to learn, because as you get senior, it's not about how much you talk, but it's about the impact you make. And the impact you make, you can be very quiet in a room, but when you speak, everybody, there's a hush, because you brought in a perspective. You made an impact in the room. You brought in a different point of view. You brought in a certain, customer centricity, or you're being able to strategically look at the market. Okay. So these are things which I think behavior can be learned. And that's the biggest thing that I would invite everybody.
Lovely. So before we take this forward, I would also like to tell you, if you are looking for a copy of our previous session that has been designed and kept it like a PDF with all the pointers, all the golden nuggets that Dr. Mudit was talking about, then you can just type in as the PDF and we will send you the link in the comment section, and we will also let you know how you can get or grab the recording of the previous session. If you are looking at this one, I think there is a lot of things that Dr. Mudit was talking about on designing aura farming, and many other things that are usually kept as the secrets. Now we are going ahead. All these things are all there. So I will give you the link inside the. So if you're watching this on LinkedIn, I think the best thing would be is go to the LinkedIn comment section, just type in PDF. We will send you the link. You can download and you can keep it, you can print it, and you can use it for multiple times. Not only that, this particular session is also been recorded, and if you're needing a kind of a copy of this, might be you have joined somewhere like in between right now. What is it happening? Don't worry, I'll give you the entire things. Good. Next one, just to let you know, the next session is happening on 10th February. Exactly the same time, same channel. Yes, you will be looking at things. But what is going to tell you, that is what is going to be spoken on that particular session is purely something called as the momentum builder. And here, it is the focus is specifically on ROI of high-level physical presence. And we are going to talk about some of the things which is at the back end. So today we will take a little bit of pointers from that part, which we are going to talk about on the next day. How do you build up that CEO momentum or the leadership momentum? Coach, I think we can spell a little bit of things. If you can let us know, who are those people whom you think are going to be the main key highlights that we can think of? I know all of them are amazing in their own work. If we would like to say a few names and who they are and what we can learn from them, over to you.
Absolutely. I think, I think I'll just pick a few from each category, and that'll be of great advantage to everybody. So first is Shupati Ghosh, right? He's been a former CISO. He's coming in from Washington. He was like all of us in Indian, but then he went abroad. He did well. And he's, so he's an Indian at heart, but he brings a global perspective about what is required in the US and in the Western world. Okay. So he's going to be talking and he's going to do a full presentation. And that really is the complete. He is going to be doing a complete, actually the keynote presentation on what it takes to succeed in the new world of AI and layoffs. Okay, so there's a lot to learn from him, because he's sitting in the US, which is the seat of all business headquarters, right? Majority of companies are headquartered there,
True.
so tell you things from there. Then we have Deepak Viveswaraya. He's the country head for Pegasystems in India. Okay. He himself has been, besides being the country head here, has worked globally. And I was just talking to him the other day, and we were discussing his presentation. And we're going to be doing a fireside chat, right? So we will learn from him about his journey, right? How, as an Indian, he rose to become the country head for a global company, and a lot of their business is done outside India. So he's sitting in India and he's, doing things overseas. Okay. Then we have a site leader, Mr. Dr. Rajesh Punyani. He's the site leader for Kenview as a GCC. Now he's also grown in, and he today, being a site leader, is constantly in touch with the US and the headquarters, right? And then he's trying to get work done here. So what perspective he's going to bring is, because he's grown in from here, he knows how Indians operate, okay? How the Indian average mid-career leader operates. And because he's a site leader, he's getting a lot of perspective from his headquarters to know what the US expects from Indian leaders, which we don't understand. So, and GCCs is a very significant segment of growth in India today over the last couple of years. So, understanding, I think the biggest challenge for Indian mid career leaders is they may understand the Indian landscape, but they don't know what the US headquarters really wants, right? So, they will learn what it is to move from a task oriented approach to being able to support a business leader in the US who has outcomes which are larger.
True.
And last but not the least, I'll talk about HR because we have Dr. Vardraju here. He's a CHRO in a Flipkart company, okay, which is a startup as well as, and we have many other CHROs. Sweetie Rath is the CHRO for Avaya, which is an MNC. So these are people who are going to tell you about the new reality, right? How things are changing, both in India and startups, as well as what is expected in a global world from Indians from an HR perspective. How do they plan leadership pipeline? So lots of stuff happening there. And
Yeah.
just encourage everybody not to miss this.
So if you are looking for the list of people who are coming as speakers or the main guests with us, you can just type in sync in the comment section, and we'll be sending you the link where you can get all the things, who they are, what they're coming for, what are the biggest takes that you can take from them. And I would like to tell you one more thing before we conclude this session today. There is something which is beyond something which I call it as the performance rating. And nowadays it is called as the social capital. And there is a difference between networking and relationship building. Coach, I would like you to conclude it in your style about the difference between networking and relationship building and the event where we are actually bridging something which is beyond.
Yeah. So, very often networking is used loosely, right? If there are 150, 200 people in the room, it's not about how many visiting cards you collect. Making a few significant connections, is what is going to build your network, and everybody needs to decide who they want to really connect with, who in the ecosystem will help them get ahead in their careers. So if you're looking for a career in a GCC, I'll say connect with the GCC leaders, right? Very focused, very targeted networking. And it's not about networking is, unfortunately misconstrued by, always asking, right? And the way I would tell people is, look, how do you think beggars are treated outside a temple? So when you want to build a network, it's not about asking, it's about what you can give, what you can share. One idea, one thought, one resource. And when you keep sharing, you build relationships. And all relationships are like a bank account. If there is no salary and no money going into that bank account, you cannot withdraw from the ATM. The same way, every relationship is a relationship account. The more you put into it, the more you can withdraw later on from somebody else. So two things I'm going to tell you about networking. One, network with the people who matter to you. Number two, learn to give and build those relationships for the long term. Okay, that's what changes, lives for people, because careers are 30 years. They're not T20 matches.
Lovely, lovely. Well said, Coach. With that, it's a time for us to pull the curtains for only today's session. The next session is happening on 10th of February, 8 p.m. And we're going to bring in a new topic called as the momentum builder for the top leaders. By the way, it's time for us to give you a lot of things. So if you are looking at the recording, or if you have just joined in, or if you have to look at what happened in the past session, just type in sync and we're going to give it to you. Number two, if you're looking at a PDF which talks about all these things that we have spoken in bullet points, free. You can just type in PDF. We're going to send it back to you in the comment section itself inside LinkedIn only. And by the way, if you want to know about what's the questions, or if you want to have any kind of questions that you want us to take up so that we can actually bounce it off to not only you, but multiple people or many people who are looking into this, please don't hesitate to. And this is the first time that we're having this kind of a platform where you can actually ask questions, and we will get you straight from those people who are the doers, not just the preachers. So with that, thank you so much, Coach, for being with us. If there is anything that we can actually give it to you for beyond that, the only thing is it's called as the social capital. So if you want to build in social capital, you need to be there. You need to be just not for networking, but for relationship building. And as Coach rightly said, what you can give in. The first thing is give in your commitment. Let's look, let's meet, and I'll see you, or we see you inside the session on 21st and 22nd of February. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, look forward for the next session. It's on Tuesday and Friday, I think. Next Tuesday and Friday. Looking forward to coming back.
Thank you. Next session is on 10th. See you. Bye-bye.